Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. I'm using a different mic because for some strange reason, my other two mics seem to put static. The volume might be low. I'm going to try and talk loud enough so you can hear this. How I develop trading systems. I thought you guys might like to see my process. Maybe it'll help you understand some of the indicators that I've written. Maybe it'll help you understand how some of the processes or systems work. So lately, I think I mentioned in sometime in the last couple of videos that I've been looking at the H4 chart period. I never really thought much of it, but then I realized there's 24 hours in a day. There's three trading sessions, about 8 hours. So we've got the Australian or Asian session. That's the first 8 hours. Then we've got the London session, which is approximately the middle 2 hours. And then we have the New York section, which is the last 2 hours. Well, not hours, but the last 8 hours of the day, or the last two H4 bars. So I was thinking maybe there might be something there. So this is the dashboard. This doesn't really have anything to do with what we're doing today for the most part. So let's start out with just the plain old candle H4. We'll look at the pound dollar. What do you see? Well, I mean, probably you can see the highs, you can see the lows. But when you look at the candles, what do you see? Um, I see some long wicks. I see barely any wicks. I see new highs being made. I see new lows being made. But what I don't see a lot of are flip-flops. What's a flip-flop? Green, red, green. That's a flip-flop. Red, green, red. So here we got flip-flops right there. But a lot of the times I don't see these flip-flops. So how can we use that to our advantage? Well, first thought is, what if you traded in a direction of the previous H4 bar, especially if it's within a session? So in other words, if you're in the London session and the first 4 hours it goes up, well, maybe the second 4 hours it'll continue to go up. So what we need is some frequency distributions. And so we look at H bars in a row. So you can see there are a lot of flip-flops over the last 1,000. But you can see there's a lot in a row. So you're thinking, well, maybe we should trade the flip-flops. Or you're thinking maybe we should trade in a row. Well, either way you could be a winner, but you look in here, you see there's a lot of times there's a lot of wicks. Big, long wicks. And to me, that's profit potential. Because if we look at the distance between high and open, if we were to have gone long, what that means to me is those are pips I could have put in my pocket. So you can see here the frequency distribution. We're using the last 540 bars. I'll let you guess why that number. Why 540? Well, let's see. There's how many H4 bars in a day? 6. Anyway, also if we look at the open to low, you can also see the frequency distribution. So you see here between 0 and 9, so it's going to be 10 or more, 70+% of the time. Here it's going to be 10 or more once again. 70 plus percent of the time based on the last 540 bars. So what that means is if you had gone short here, there was your potential. Even though it was a green, there was a chance. Now, how do you know which way to go? Well, you don't. Nobody does. You just have to make a best guess. So you can either continue or you can flip-flop. But usually, in either case, according to this, there's a chance to make money. And that's what we're looking for. Opportunities to make money. And it looks like there's a 70% chance, no matter which way you go, you can make 10 pips or more. That's the beauty. Now, you might have to wait to collect those pips, and there might be some drawdown. But maybe there's even a better way. So the next thing we can look at is we can look at the high to the previous high. In other words, a breakout. So like right here, there was a breakout. If you look at this, we had a high of 131.22, and here we had a high of 131.41. So 41 minus 22, that's 19. Take out the spread. That you could have banked at least 10 pips on that breakout. So that's how that works. So in other words, I went from just looking at the chart to saying, what do I see? Then I wrote some frequency distribution indicators, and I had a bar in a row, and I looked at these things so I could analyze the price, analyze what is the potential. And to me, this is far superior to back testing because it's kind of like the uncertainty principle. I mean, you look at history. Now, if you go back and you change one thing, well, then everything could change because you didn't enter the trade. Maybe your entry was like that butterfly flapping its wings over in Japan. It created a hurricane, halfway around the world. So, I know it's kind of funny, but the point is that to me, back testing's for the birds. I mean, I used to spend lots of hours back testing. It never really panned out. What panned out was doing these frequency distributions, analyzing price, looking at it from a historical perspective, not from a predictive or probability perspective. Because once again, these are statistics. Statistics deal with history, probabilities deal with future events, and in trading, it's all statistics and no probabilities. Now, what I did here was I'd written a breakout indicator, and we want to look and see about the breakout. So this dark blue dot here, that's the upper breakout, and this red dot, that's the lower breakout. So you can see here, we've already had a breakout, and now it's back up 1 pip, and I think you might have saw it flash reverse 19. So you look here, we had a high of 41. Okay, and we had a previous of 22. Hey, there's that 19 again. So once again, there was that opportunity to bank those pips. So I hope that gives you a glimpse, an idea of where I come up with these things, how I come up with these things, all these methods, frequency distributions, how I apply them to trading. Because as always, fellow traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. The Rumpled One, signing off.